Hi Leo, I'm Anisha. To know more about my work, you may visit my website www.tarotbyanisha.com. For those of you who are seeking deeper clarity, be it in your love life or your career, for a personal consultation, you may write to me at tarotbyanisha@gmail.com. Leo's November is here. I mean, honestly, I don't know where this year has gone with all of us being shut inside most of the years. I mean, the world is no longer as what we used to know it was. We have Mars that goes direct, and it has been retrograde in Aries for the last couple of months. We also have Mercury that goes direct. Lots of blessings to be grateful about. And Mercury also has been retrograde for the last 3 weeks. And then we have Jupiter and Pluto conjunct. And then we have an eclipse season at the beginning of the end of the month. Now on the 4th, we have Mercury that moves direct in the 3rd house with Venus, which is there till about 27th of the month. And Mercury in this house is all about having conversations with siblings. It is also about the place where you live, your community in which that you're involved. You may find that there are a lot of conversations around it. Maybe you want to participate or you are participating in beautifying the place where you live. Maybe there are issues with the current place where you're living, and maybe there's too much of traffic where you stay, and you've been thinking and contemplating about how it is best that you can sort it. This is also the house of sibling. So it can be that if there has been a spat, it's a great time to be putting that to rest. It may also mean that your sibling could be having an issue, and it's a time to be lending your shoulder to them. Venus in this house towards the end of the month is going to be um, it's going to be giving it support. It's going to be adding all the positivity. So if there is something that you have been planning as far as travel is concerned, as far as learning is concerned, it's a great time that you will enjoy doing, um, while learning. So it won't seem like a chore. So if some of you pick up a language, a foreign language to learn, or even if it's a course that you've been thinking about, you may have had thoughts earlier that it's going to be boring or it may be tough, but you realize towards the end of the month that it's something that you really enjoy. On the 11th, we have Mercury, which joins Sun in your house of home. And this is the house of Cancer. It also rules your mother. And Mercury over here, it's going to allow you to have conversations maybe regarding selling a house. Maybe you've been trying to persuade your parents to move in with you. Maybe you've been trying to persuade them into selling off maybe if it's an ancestral home, and to move to a better place so that you can be close to them. Some of you could be inheriting that as well. It could be that inheritance has come up and you could be finding yourself signing some papers. You may find that having any conversations regarding negotiations as far as property is concerned, they will be all smooth. You could be finding yourself having to maybe deal with some legalities as far as home is concerned. Some of you could be looking at shifting your own house, maybe the country. From the 8th to the 12th, we have Jupiter and Pluto, and they're conjuncting in your house of day-to-day chores, and this is also the house of your health. And this is very important, especially as Mars is going direct on the 14th of November. Now, since Jupiter and Pluto are transiting in Capricorn, they are going to be they are in fact under the ruling eye of the Sirius and the steady Saturn, which is going to be teaching its lessons, whether it is around any excesses that may be. With Jupiter being over there, it can be that you have been maybe been thinking about traveling or maybe even moving countries, and that is something that the more you think about it, the more sort of the idea is more appealing to you. And Pluto over here is also going to be testing the the old way of viewing and looking at things, the old belief system, because Pluto is the deconstruction of the old method of doing things, and it brings about change. And not to mention, we also have Uranus that is active and carries on being so for the next couple of months, which is the true awakener. He's the he's a planet which upholds truth. So with all the signs in Capricorn, your Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn over there, it's going to be bringing about lessons of maturity, lessons of responsibility, and they simply come through acceptance of cycles of change. So Leos, you have to adapt to the change. It's no longer that the old belief system is going to be holding you true. So it's a time where you will have to adapt your aspirations to what is it that you may have planned for yourself. You could have thought that you want to be maybe traveling constantly, or may have thought that you'll retire at this time, or maybe there could be any kind of an aspiration. But with the current situation that is there, you will have to adapt, you will have to mold yourself over there. There is almost like a new calling for you, Leos. And for those of you who have been thinking about changing your job, you may have been thinking about getting into a new profession, or maybe even starting something of your own. For a few of you, it may be just that you just want to take a sabbatical, you just want to travel, which is it may be hard during the pandemic times, but not impossible. So I think ensuring that and being aware about the new ways of doing things, that no longer the old habits, the old way of operating or adopting the systems that may have existed earlier, they no longer serve purpose. So you have to change, you have to bring about that change, you have to accept that maybe you have to go solo, you have to take the responsibility of you have to be the responsible one to take care of whether it is your parents, whether it is a property that is there, whether it is if you are working, if you're not working, you choose to go solo, or you choose to work a 9 to 5 job. Financially is something wherein that you will have to be accountable for yourself, which honestly is not a bad thing at all. On the 15th, we have a new moon that is again there in your house of home, and it also has Uranus that has been there in your house of career and reputation. Now, it's a very interesting aspect, absolutely opposite to each other, the 4th and the 10th, and they can be that you're either renovating your house, you're doing something new to your house, maybe you're adding another floor, maybe you're moving to another city, or you're moving your location. You could just simply be renovating and making your place more comfortable and more pretty. Now, Uranus in your house of career and reputation, it moves about suddenly. It could be bringing about these a sudden gain fall and a sudden loss. So one minute you'll find yourself in this really amazing company, and the next minute you realize that, oh, there's been some kind of a ban and you can't operate, or they've just gone out of funds, or you may just realize that it's a very average company where you realize, but they've received an amazing funding and you're doing extremely well. So again, the lesson to work with the Uranian energy, especially as far as your work is concerned, is that you need to be flexible. You need to be able to adapt and go with the flow, Leos. On the 22nd, we have Venus, and she's coming to your house of home. So a lot of maybe a get together with family, a lot of maybe traveling down the memory lane with them, childhood discussions, and spending time with siblings. On the 27th, we have Sun, which moves to your house of love, romance, creativity, and children. And it can be that there is some conversation which needs to be had as far as love is concerned. And Leo, I think out of all the zodiacs, no one knows better than to have a brave heart than you. You have that inner courage. Whenever I'm speaking with people and I'm talking about the kind of heart that you should have, I think it's a Leo heart. full of courage, full of compassion. There's that inner strength that is there, the bravery that comes with it, the gracefulness that comes with it. So there does seem to be some conversation, and all you need to do is that, which shouldn't be hard for you, Leos, is to be speaking from the heart. Show your authentic, vulnerable self. Don't shy away from speaking your truth and letting the person also know. I think a lot of times it's not. It's what we say. It's how we say, and I think this would be one of those times where you need to be saying things from the heart. We're closing the month on the 30th with a full moon. There is a lunar eclipse that is there in a house of friendships. So this is a time where it could be bringing an end to something that you've been working on with a friend. It could be an agreement. It could be a contract, a project. Some of you could just be cutting ties. Some of you could just be saying, enough with the bad pennies. I don't need them anymore. So you could be quite done with them. You could also be elevating your relationships, with some of your good friends. They could almost seem like family, and material things will be very, they could be of low importance to you. You could be paying more attention to building bonds, building relationship, having heart to heart your authentic self, sharing yourself. And the only thing that I can tell you is that you need to be a little bit careful about power play, Leos, this month. So try not to sort of hold things very tightly in your hand. Just they say that friendships are like they're like holding sand in your hand. The tighter you hold, the faster they slip out of your hands. So treat your friendships, your loved ones. It's as if you're holding sand in your hand. Hold it gently. Let it be there. Give them the space. Don't get into power plays. Even if you can do something for someone, don't sort of go around telling 10 people or have that power play and say that, oh, let him or her run around a little bit and then I'll do what needs to get done. It can be that again, because it's a very karmic house that I'm speaking of, that someone may need your help and you could get into a power play. But you need to also keep in mind that it's the cycle of life. We all go through that. It may be that tomorrow someone else needs it, and it can be that after that you could be the person who could be needing that help from someone. So keep that in mind. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Leos. I'll see you again soon, and thank you so much for watching.